Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to actually start putting stuff into our project, and we're going to start with the foundation, which is going to be the drums. So I'm going to show you how to organize your drum rack so that we can start cooking. I actually forgot to save the project from the templates, so I'm going to have to set up the drum rack from scratch again. So let's make sure we have our drum channel selected and we drag an instance of a drum rack in there. From here, we can hit on a Mac, Command G, PC, Control G. And that's going to group our drum rack. We can rename this intro. And we'll duplicate it and rename the second one drop. And there's an important reason for doing this. It's because we want our intro and our drop drums to be different. We want the freedom to be able to change, like intro maybe at 0 dB and drop maybe at -11. That's backwards, but we want that freedom. Creating an instrument rack allows us to do that. Let's go ahead and start filling out our intro with some drums and make a few MIDI clips. We're going to be working out of the Virtual Riot Heavy Bass Design Splice pack because, like I said, if you buy a Focusrite Solo, you get 3 months for free on Splice, and this is a great pack to get. So let's go ahead and just drag cake number 1, and we're going to place it onto C3. Make sure that it triggers, and let's grab a snare. That'll be fine. I'm not going to be picky. And we'll grab one closed hi-hat. I like that, FM2. And we'll grab an open hi-hat. That's going to be the best one. All right, so we've got 4 samples loaded in our chain. Now, we want to give ourselves some headroom from the outset, so we'll set all these levels to -12. Thought you could group change it, but I guess you can't. And they're all set to 1 shot, which means you just have to click it once and it will activate the entire sample, which is good. Let's set our BPM to 145 for dubstep, because yes. And we will start mapping out our track. Let's start with an 8-bar clip for the beginning. We will Command Shift M, and that creates a MIDI clip, and you can start filling that out. Cool. So that's a very basic phrase. We can duplicate it. That's going to be our intro for all intents and purposes. Now you can consolidate these MIDI clips by group selecting them and hold Command J, and that turns it all into one big MIDI clip, which I think is awesome because it lets you see the phrase length. Let's write a build now, that way we can start getting into our drop drums and see how we have to layer all the different instruments in the drum rack so that they all don't occupy the same ranges. We can create a MIDI clip by holding Command Shift M, and so it's a super bare bones, very basic build, but it gets the job done for what we're doing here. And next time we meet up, I will have it way more fleshed out and a little more realized. Now, what we can do with Ableton, which is really helpful, is add what's called locators. So if we click at the very beginning of the track, go up to Create, Add Locator, you can type intro, and this lets us scan through our track extremely quickly when we want to go through different sections and listen to it. Now we're going to mess with our drop drums, so go over to your channel and you can use the same drums as you did for your intro. I like to change it up because it gives the drop a slightly more aggressive feel. I really like this one because it's got a lot of sub. So we'll set this one on C4, an octave up from our intro, and hopefully this will help us avoid any samples being triggered at the same time from the piano roll. Let's get a very nice fat snare, rhythm snare. Now for our drop, we're gonna definitely need a 2 crashes. We'll use that one. You could honestly just use the same one twice and pitch one of them. So that gives us a nice contrast, and I like panning my cymbals slightly to the left and right so it gives a little motion. So we'll go 25 to the left for cymbal 1 and 25 to the right for cymbal 2. You can click in the pan, and to go to the left you click minus and then whatever your numeric value is, and then to go to the right you just put it in as a positive integer, which makes it super easy. We're going to use those 2 rides and a ride from the crash. Now let's get some hats. I like FM2, so we'll use that one again. And we'll get an open hat, and I think we should be good. We'll use classic. Let's go ahead and set all our volumes down to -12 to give headroom for mixing. I don't know where the samples went. There we go. Now we're going to make our drop. So we're going to create an 8-bar loop, and if you see here, kick number 5 was our lowest value. It was placed in the lowest slot for the drop samples. So everything above kick 5 is going to be our drop drums. This is essentially what a MIDI clip will look like for every single instrument in this kind of project, since we are working in a LITE version. And this is how you are able to fit a massive amount of sounds into a small package. So let's make a quick beat. Not the fanciest thing in the world, but it gets the job done, and it allows us to kind of see how this project will work. Alright guys, so that is essentially how you are going to set up your drums for a live LITE project, and this is how you are going to really be able to maximize its potential. We can create a dummy clip where we see all of this next to each other. So you can see we have our intro stuff over here on the left hand side and our drop stuff over here on the right hand side. So we have all that space separating it. So when we look at it like this, yes, it may look a little bit ugly, but it's going to sound completely great by the end of this. Full disclosure and warning, this is not a walk you step by step on song structure and how to make a beat or how to write a track. This is primarily just learning how to make a full track in Ableton Live LITE under the constraints and restrictions that you would experience if you are trying to get into production on a super small budget. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found some information useful, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace. Let's get lit tonight.